I said good morning to Carol Markstrom. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking.
The reason that we invited you in this morning on this program is from the beautiful album Mile After Mile and the beautiful single Fooled in Love.
Yes, my new album, Mile After Mile, was just released, and in fact, I just received the CDs today. But you've been able to receive the digital version, so thank you. I'm glad you like or excuse me, Fooled into Love.
Yeah.
That was a fun song to write.
For the listeners, Carl Markstrom, tell about a little things about yourself.
Well, I'm a singer-songwriter. I live in Tucson, Arizona.
Hmm.
I tour, throughout the United States, but mostly in the West, all the way to Alaska. I go to Alaska. I try to get there at least once a year. And this is my fourth album, Mile After Mile, and it's probably is my most personal collection of songs that many come out of my own experiences and traveling as a touring musician and places I've been, people I've met, maybe partly my philosophy of life in some ways. So it is a very personal collection of songs. As I said, I think people will get to know me better, and I write a lot about the American West.
Yeah.
Because that's where I spend most of my time. But I think the songs will be, people anywhere will be able to relate to them.
Uh, your music had a very special style.
It has a special sound. You said.
A special style.
Yes.
You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you. Thank you. I think my style is, a mixture of musical genres. Certainly there's a folk sound to it, country as well, and just Americana as it's called for everything else. So it is a collection of various styles that come together, and much of it is acoustically based, like with guitar. But on this album, you'll hear quite a bit of cello. And as I was writing these songs, in my imagination, I can hear the instruments that I want on them, and I kept hearing cello. And there is a wonderful cello player, Deirdre Childs, in Austin, Texas, and she played on several of the songs, and she exactly captured the mood and the flavor that I wanted on the song. So I was very pleased with that.
But when I listen to your sound, I, in my head, it's a sound cooperation with Emmylou Harris, with Linda Ronstadt, Sheryl Crow. You have a voice in that direction.
Thank you. I hope so. Those are all artists that I greatly admire, and I love their voices. I love their style of music. So I think you said it very well. That's how I feel that I try to emulate, in my music as well. So I think that's a good comparison in terms of the style that I do. And thank you for your compliment about my voice as well. I appreciate that.
A beautiful album with 12 songs. I see a lot of songs. Perfect, On the Right Line, Seekers, Minus Candle. Who write the songs? Do you that by yourself?
There are 12 songs, and I wrote 11 of them, or I had some co-writers too. one, Miner's Candle is one that I co-wrote with a friend of mine in Germany, and she writes fiction about the American West. But she said, I have this idea for a song about a miner mining silver and how he loses his soul and his life to the quest for the wealth of silver. So that song we wrote together, and her name's Manuela Schneider. And she's from the south of Germany. So we did that one. And then another co-writer is Seth Maynard. He's also one of my co-producers. And I've worked with Seth for many years. So we wrote some songs. And then most of them I'm the sole author of the songs. The one song I didn't write is called Devil's Backbone. And it's by one of my favorite groups. Or they're no longer together. They were called the Civil Wars, and it's just I've been singing that song live to audiences for a while, and they said, please put that on your next CD, and so I did, and I like that song too. It's very mournful. Yeah, it's a dark gothic tale of the West. Let me just describe it that way.
I read that you are a member of the International Western Music Association. Yes.
Yeah, in fact, I'm a board member of that association as well, and we recognize that Western music is popular around the world. That's why it is called the International Western Music Association, and I've been involved there for several years now, and they are interested in songs about the West, the American West, and of various types of some of the old songs, like if you remember people like Roy Rogers or Sons of the Pioneers, but then there's people like myself who are writing contemporary music about the West.
Yeah.
As well.
After this interview, we go playing Fooled into Love. Tell about little things about this song.
Yeah, it's about a woman in the West and who's kind of in between romances, and this cowboy comes into town and she falls for him, but it doesn't turn out well, the song, and she catches on to the fact that he's not being faithful. So her line in the song you hear is, I'm not going to be fooled into love again. I'm going to make sure that this doesn't happen to me again. So it's kind of a fun song. It's probably a song a lot of people can relate to who have experienced being fooled into love.
You have a lot of reactions on this new album?
It's just been released not even a week, but I can see that songs are being played around the world. Fooled into Love, Dust of Palomas is one of my favorite songs. And if you hear that sometime, Perfect, the No Stone Unturned, so I'm seeing that the songs are being played, and now I have the CDs available as well, so they are being sent to DJs. But my DJs are also getting access to my songs in other ways, like you did.
Yeah, you play guitar, huh?
I play guitar. Yeah, I right now I'm actually on tour. I'm in Colorado, and then I go to South Dakota for another week of performances. Mm-hmm. So I accompany myself on guitar when I'm performing.
Yeah. When I'm thinking, I try to thinking. You're sitting at home. You're sitting on in your house. You go playing with your guitar, and you created a new song.
That's what I do, and it's this past year has been very difficult for everyone with our confinement and isolation with COVID, and so I wasn't performing very much, hardly at all. So I was home, and a lot of these new songs came out of just being home and writing, getting ideas and finishing up songs that I had already started.
Yeah.
So then when I was ready to begin recording in just this April, fortunately things were improving and we could get out and travel more. And so I went to Texas, near Austin, Texas, to record. And so I did make 2 trips driving there, actually, to do this.
Okay. When the listeners they want more information, there is a beautiful website, www.carolmarkstrommusic.com, right?
That's correct, carolmarkstrommusic.com.
Yeah. We're going to play Fooled into Love. On the first place, I thank you for this nice interview. I wish you all the best for the rest of this time. And I ask you to introduce this song by yourself.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening, and I hope you enjoy this new song of mine titled Fooled into Love. This is Carol Markstrom.
Thank you.